Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Under Hood Show. My name is Josh Profit. I'm the service director here at Mel Hamilton Ford, and alongside me this morning, Scotty Gurman. Good morning, Scotty.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing phenomenal this morning. Sunny and 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely been plenty warm the last couple of days for sure. But got a great show for you this morning. For all you listeners out there. But it is a call-in show, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us and talk about anything automotive.
Yeah.
We're never up for there's never a topic that we don't want to talk about when it comes to automotive for sure.
Let's get derailed.
Yeah, for sure. We can have a set schedule of things that we want to discuss and go over, which we do. I've got a couple things that I wanted to visit about this morning as well. But give us a call, 316-462-3673. Got a couple of comments on the chat section already, which is great. Bill Lindsay, good morning. Bill, I'll need you to call in and talk about the car show you got going on next week out at Sedgwick County Park. So we need to talk about that this morning. Delbert Alt, good morning. That is.
Well, you weren't here for this, but Delbert thought I was oh God, I'm blanking. He did not think it was me. He thought I was somebody else last time I was on the show.
Gotcha. Yeah. You had definitely had the opportunity to appear a couple of different times here over the last couple of weeks. So I definitely appreciate you coming in and filling in for us. And just between you get to summer and schedules are just absolutely crazy. I mean, that's true for all the. Oh, he thought it was Nick.
That's right, Nick. So, I thought it was Ballman. That's right.
Very good. So, but hey, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. Let's talk about whatever you guys want to talk about automotive wise. But for each and every caller that calls into the show, we're going to mail out a prize package, which consists of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hamilton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the tires, brakes, batteries, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components. Just making sure that vehicle is ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
Yeah.
You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the big corner. And then Complete Nitrogen, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer for your tires. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles. So, Hey, let's get the phones ringing. Again, 316-462-3673. So I'm going to get a call patch through here, and we'll get the show rolling.
Absolutely. So, let's do it.
It is definitely warmer out.
Yeah, it's hot.
But we're also, almost midst of July already.
We're dead of summer right now.
And so it's one of those things that you definitely see an influx in maybe similar problems or similar issues.
Oh yeah.
When the heat pops up like that. And so that's some of the things that I want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
But also, before we get going on the show, let's go out to the phones. Let's talk to Bill. Bill, you're on live with Under the Hood. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Hey,
great.
So appreciate you calling in, Bill. I wanted you to give all the listeners updates as to what's going on next Saturday. I know you got your annual Mustang Club car show coming up. It's a pretty big deal for sure. So why don't you give us a rundown of what's going on next Saturday?
Okay, next Saturday, Sedgwick County Park, 8 to about 3, 31st annual Mustang All Ford show. We'll be there at the field there to the south of 21st Street, just east of the Big Hill. I think that building's a horseshoe building, if I recall, that we're using for registration. Doing abbreviated Mustang Club of America judging for gold, silver, and bronze. Trophies for best interior, best paint, Best Engine and Best of Show, President's Choice, and furthest traveled this year.
Furthest traveled is a trophy for you.
Furthest traveled.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And you said, so this is at Cedric County Park, right?
Yes.
And that's at 21st and
the 21st and Plain the Zoo and
Ridge Road.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have kind of a rough idea at this point on number of entries?
It's hard to say because we don't do any cutoff, as far as entries, because that's such a big field to use. Last year we were at 109 cars, which about 60% of those were Mustangs.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to say. I mean, we've had anywhere from 75 cars up to about 130. So
yeah, and that was going to be my next question for you is, but you kind of already answered it. But just so the listeners know, this is not a Mustang only deal, right? So
no, it's my Mustang all Ford. Ford powered. Five or 6 years ago, we had a guy show up with a Viking motor, or not Viking motor, but I forgot what it was. We had a Ford motor and a Corvette.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask there, because you see a lot of LSs seem to be the most common thing that you see in other
LS
vehicles,
swaps.
and so where do you what makes it eligible to enter the Ford show? Is it the engine? Is it the car?
The car. If it's like I said, if it's a GM or Dodge product, if it's got a Ford motor in it, we're going to allow it. So
okay.
There's all it's got Ford. Like you said, most of the time you see it vice versa.
Uh-huh.
The GM products have got or Ford products have got GM motors in them. So
yeah.
We thought that was kind of unique. This guy's pulling up in a Corvette, and wait a minute, this is a Ford show, buddy. And no, I got a Ford motor. Okay, well, you're good. So,
that is completely different of the normal. It's typically the other way around for sure. So
yeah. So, I'm hoping to get Fred Hilbert out there this year. He's got a car that is real significant to Ford and the Ford racing program. He has the first, it was the first GT350R ever released to the public from Shelby.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And he ran that. He's raced that for years. He's got everything documented. On the car, he's got several races that he could actually beat Carroll in. Got Daytona and several other races. I was asking him here several years ago. I said, "Well, Fred, what's this patch you have on the hood?" And he was sitting there, and he goes, "I was in second place against I forgot who he said the drivers were." Anyway, it was a three-way race for first place. It was Shelby and I think somebody from, I think it was one of the Ferrari drivers. The Fred went to downshift, and in the process of doing that, the flywheel decided to come up through the hood.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and he's got patches in the car, especially in the tunnel area where the drive shafts come up through it and stuff. And it's neat piece of history to have in Wichita. He doesn't race it anymore. I've been down to the Shelby meet in Tulsa, where he's jumped in the 65, ran it, and here in 289 at 160, 170 mile an hour that's something else. Then he jumps in his 2014 GT500 and goes out and does the same thing.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm hoping to get Fred out there with that car. It's just this being the 60th anniversary of the Mustang, we're just, we're hoping to have a good turnout.
Sure. Yep. Understand that completely. So Sedgwick County Park, next Saturday. And again, your hours, I think you said 8 to 3.
I'm gonna try to start trophies, awards probably around 2:30.
Okay.
If we can get the judging done. Right now, the forecast is looking fantastic. We're about 85 for next Saturday. So
That would be phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
That's one thing about Kansas is to plan a car show is probably like throwing dice if I had to guess.
Yeah. It says that now,
Yeah.
but
You've
Mother
been
Nature sucks.
you've definitely been pretty fortunate
Well,
though in years past, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's been, and we've had, we used to have it 1st of June, but, graduations and,
Yep.
and of course, May, June, the weather's just so unpredictable. We've had to, postpone it, several years, here lately because of the rain and stuff. And so, and I guess, of course, it's going to be good for you guys next Saturday up at Hutch with the USAC race. So,
we got the Silver Crown race up there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big deal for sure. So
I want to make that race so bad, but I think I'm just going to be beat by the time we get done with.
Sure.
You can handle it.
So,
No, I understand that. There's a lot going on up there Friday as well. So let's go over those trophies again one more time.
okay.
And what all were you placing for?
Okay, we're doing abbreviated Mustang Club of America judging for gold, silver, and bronze.
Okay.
Also, there'll be a trophy for best paint, interior, engine, best of show, and then furthest traveled. Oh, I forgot about of course we got the Fairlane guys. They're going to do a mini meet and then the Ford class, all Ford class.
Okay. So do you?
I guess you guys are going to do the podcast from out there next Saturday.
Believe
Okay.
that's going to be my intent is to do that, and then we'll also get a couple of cars out there as well. So
unless somebody calls in sick, and I will end up being there, and we're just going to have an absolute ton of fun.
So
Okay.
yeah, that is the intent. You had said furthest traveled. What's your longest distance so far? What do I got to beat?
Right now, we've had phone calls from Pensacola.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Dang.
And one of our co-founding members lives down in the Pensacola area, so I'm not for sure if he's coming up or if it's some other folks that maybe found out about it at the MCA national meet in Birmingham here. That was here back in April. But I'm not. So we've had that. I think we've got a car right now that's. Oh geez, I'll say Salt Lake City, and I think there's possibly one coming in from Idaho.
Oh wow, yeah. So definitely have some travelers for sure. Probably not going to beat it coming from Mel Hamilton Ford then.
No.
Gotcha.
So but we want to thank Mel Hamilton Ford and O'Reilly's, Best Body Shop, Air Capital Waste, Ward of Awe. We have a list of sponsors. Those are our major sponsors. So
you gotta give love to the sponsors for sure.
Yeah, and especially you guys out at the Big Corner. You guys, been great for supporting us over the last several years. And then of course we held our first annual show and shine last year for passageways, and that'll be in September this year. That'll be in September this year, and in conjunction with passageways 5 and 10K run out of Sedgwick County Park.
Very good, very good. So let's talk about just a little bit the actual Mustang Club itself. When you say South Central, like what? Give me the territory that covers.
Okay, well, we've got members. I said we've got members as far as Florida. it covers basically, basically the whole state. That's just 31 years ago when the club was established. It was they just came up with South Central Kansas Mustang Club because basically it was just members, from the Wichita, southern Kansas area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we've, I think we're right about 70 members right now.
How many members? I'm sorry.
About 70.
70 members.
Yeah, 70 members. The numbers are coming back up. We dropped off quite a bit. Down to COVID.
Yeah.
Area, down COVID, and we're getting it built back up. We try to do, maybe 1 or 2 cruises a month. Last night, we all met up at Hartman Arena and cruised up to Newton to Back Alley Pizza.
Oh, okay.
For dinner. So that was the turnout was kind of light. I understand the guys not wanting to get the cars out. 100 degrees, and especially the guys that got older cars.
Yeah.
But
and so one, you said you meet up about once a month.
Yeah, we meet the third Sunday of the month at the Child Advocacy Center over on Lincoln and Emporia.
Uh-huh.
Our meeting time is 3:02.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
gotcha.
We want to do 289. Just couldn't come up with that. So 302 was the next.
302 was the next thing to go. Okay, so what's it take to become a member, to be a part of the club, stuff like that?
Okay, just love for be a Mustang or Ford enthusiast. We're not, if you don't have a Mustang and you're a good Ford enthusiast, or have a love for the car, it's 4 years 25 right now. I think we're prorating as we get into the year. I think
sure.
I think it's 15 right now for the rest of the year.
Okay.
That's basically all it is. Our website is S as in Sam, K as in Kansas, C as in Cat, Mustang Club, or MC.club. So SCKMC.club. I said that wrong. So South Central Kansas Mustang Club. So just abbreviate that, and it's .club.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
But we're looking forward to it. Hopefully, have a good turnout. I was kind of sweating bullets with this 100-degree snap we're in right now, and then I seen the forecast for next week. And 80 degrees, we can handle that. So
when 100 is the other alternative, 80 sounds pretty good.
yeah, exactly.
I understand that completely. Well, very good. And then I'm assuming you guys are going to have probably some food trucks and stuff like that out there.
Yeah, 6 vendors, everything from snow cones to barbecue.
Okay, very good.
So I still got Mrs. Coles out of Goddard, Smoking Hot, which is a barbecue food vendor. Roxy's, Hot to Trot hot dogs. Another one, I'm not for sure who it is. Face Stuffers or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think we have 6 vendors total, but it's and then Traveling Tom's coffee truck. Oh,
there you go. Very good.
Good old Traveling Tom.
And then we have a couple other people. We have some other vendors that'll have tents out in the middle. Some of them selling, arts and crafts, whatever. Hot Wheels. I think the license, the guy that does all the antique license tags is going to be there. Then we got Richard Zimmerman with Performance Tunes DJing is going to be handling all the music and everything. So it's going to be a good show. I'm hoping weather holds out like they're saying, but I'm looking forward to it. So
Very good. So let's talk about somebody that wants to put their car in the show. We've got a couple folks on the chat there that was saying about bringing out a hot rod. So what's the take to do that? Talk about entry, things like that.
Okay. You can just show up at line. Line's going to start probably around 7 o'clock. We'll start staging around 8.
Okay.
To show up after the park. I'm still working on trying to get a registration form to work online. We're on our website. We're not having any luck with that right now, but we can take funds online. But so, and like I said, there's no cutoff. So just show up.
Show up day of. Okay.
The guys will park you, and if so, I'll get to that in a minute. If to show up, it's $25.
Okay.
And the proceeds for the show are going to go to Passageway, or not Passageway, it's not this show, the Kansas Food Bank and the Child Advocacy Center.
Okay.
And just show up. I'm trying to. I wish I could get the registration, or we could have got it online, but we're having an issue with getting that to work right now. So, but that, and then this is going to be a good time, I hope. And I don't know if anybody has any questions. So they go to the website there, South Central Kansas Mustang Club, or they can give me a call. 316-880-5988 with any questions. So it's just hope everybody. So we're gonna have some neat stuff to raffle off. I'm not sure what all we've got yet. There's been rumors possibly a Weber grill going to show up.
Oh, very cool.
I know Riley's is chipping in. Of course, I haven't heard from all of our sponsors yet on what they're chipping in. I think my wife even said something the other day about getting a gift certificate from a lady she goes to for her fingernails. So,
Josh needs to win that.
Well, come on now.
That's his favorite.
Well,
yeah. So, I'm not sure what all we got yet. We're just still, things are still coming in and
compiling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, so again, we can't thank Mel Hamilton for your guys' support. It's you guys have been really it's been great partnering with you over the last several years. So
well, very good. Well, we'll get some cars out there, and we'll see you out there next Saturday again. Sedgwick County Park, 21st, and between Zoo and Ridge Road.
Just come off the 21st there. I think it's short. I think that stoplight there just west of the Zoo is like Shoreline or something like that. So.
But
of course, hopefully Lagash or somebody will be there next Saturday to do the podcast. So
yep. Well,
I love how he said that. Somebody.
we will be present and accounted for. So all right.
Yeah, Josh will be there. Josh will be there with toothpicks in his eyes from being on a grader all day.
From being at the track from Friday for sure. So that's okay. That's how we run around here.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, but Josh, if you could give me a call, either later today or first part of the week, so I just need to discuss a couple things with you on the show. So
okay, we can.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we can do that. That's no problem. So.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Well.
All right, Bill.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good day and try to stay cool out there.
We're gonna try.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Right, take care.
Bye. There we go. South Central Mustang Club and update on them and the car show that they got going on next week. So, hey, call-in show 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here, and let's talk about anything automotive.
Yeah.
anything automotive
Anything.
that you want to talk about as well. So, as we started into the show, talked about the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of what was going on there, and what I wanted to go over. Kind of what are some common things that you see an influx of when it comes to heat in vehicles?
I think majority of my phone calls, especially when it's around 100 degrees outside, is always my air conditioning is blowing kind of cold, but not as cold as it did
Yeah,
when it wasn't 100 degrees.
yeah.
That's generally the main phone call that I get on a regular basis. And yeah, that one is that's the biggest one.
So AC is a huge deal, but I'm thinking of other things that would actually help the AC system along with it. So
Oh,
the
sure.
first thing that comes to my mind right off the top of my head is like window tint.
Oh,
And not getting all
yeah.
like the UV rays in the vehicle and how much difference that makes. I was taking a customer's vehicle home the other night, and we pre-tint all the
Yeah.
new vehicles around here and stuff like that. So it had been a long time since I drove something that did not have window tint in it,
Mhm.
and that's a pretty common accessory for people to add on. But
God, we're
I just
spoiled.
it is, yeah, it is. But I couldn't believe how much difference the sun load made in the vehicle without having window tint. It just blew me away, And I mean, it's just something that you don't ever really think of until
Until you don't have
you
it.
don't have it, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. AC is probably one of the most common things around here at this time of year, for sure. And with that is just it is a fluid, right?
Mhm.
Like there's I guess not a fluid, but it is a gas.
Yeah.
The hoses are permeable, and like that system is going to leak. It's
Yeah.
just like compressed air in your tire, or even nitrogen in your tire. Like over amount of time, it's gonna leak for sure. Yeah, Greg Murray says driving around in a fishbowl. That is so. I think that's funny that he made that comment, because I'm always telling just employees or whatever, like you're in a fishbowl all the time. Like somebody is always watching no matter what's going on. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
Or
For sure.
or you get involved in a conversation that you're having, and maybe are over animated about something,
yeah.
or whatever, and it's like, dude, there's glass all around this place.
Yeah.
You-
Somebody's watching you.
yeah, somebody's watching all the time. So but yes, talking about AC systems, they're gonna leak.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen. And then my biggest thing with that is, okay, now you've lost refrigerant in the system.
Mhm.
And especially with these modern vehicles and the amount of refrigerant that they take versus what they used to carry years and years ago,
Right.
like it's so much less than
Yeah.
what it used to be, and it's so much more crucial that it has that proper amount, because once it loses the refrigerant, it's not able to transfer the oils to the components like it needs to. Obviously the system's going to be working harder, struggling harder, because it is low on refrigerant and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, you're just doing unnecessary damage to something over something as simple as a service.
Yeah.
For sure.
But on top of that, I mean, that's legitimately one of the worst things that could possibly happen in a vehicle whenever it's 100 degrees outside. All of a sudden, you're driving, and it just, nope, I decided I'm blowing in warm air now. And so me and Phil talked about last time I was on the show, is like the worst thing that you could possibly do is go to O'Reilly's and get one of those self-charging systems. And the pressures on the low side and the high side are way off, and it's making it worse. I mean, it's not a fun time. So the best way, especially if you have the opportunity to do so, is to have the AC serviced. And every single time you get serviced, in case if it does have a large leak, we have dye in our systems.
Yeah.
And so if you end up having a catastrophic failure of some kind in the AC system, it's going to be pretty easy to find whenever it has dye in the system as well. So
yep, very, very much so. One of the things that we talked about in the intro, or the package that we give away. Okay.
Mhm.
So, the works package, oil change and tire rotation. But then I come back to this time and time again, is the genuine Motorcraft parts,
Oh yeah.
and what a difference that it makes on putting a quality part on something.
I had one last week. I had a good situation. Well, a
Example
bad
of that.
situation,
Well,
but yeah.
a good reason to use quality parts.
100%. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
I have a gentleman that brought a vehicle in, said that he's been taking it to you know, a shade tree mechanic for, you know, years, and he has a misfire on one of the cylinders. We get it into the shop finally, and we get it diagnosed, and it turns out shade tree mechanic has been putting Autolite plugs in the vehicle, and then on top of that has also put a ignition coil on the incorrect cylinder that was misfiring. So we have a situation that very legitimately could be called because of the parts that were used for not Motorcraft. And then on top of that, we have a situation to where we're not even replacing the correct coil for the cylinder that's actually misfiring. And the chances are what happened is that the spark plugs actually wore out and then caused the ignition coil to go bad. And we're spending unnecessary money. And then we're also replacing spark plugs that were probably replaced not that long ago, but it's a lesser quality part. And so they're not OEM parts, at least for the almost 20 years I've been in this business. I have learned that if it is not made for only that vehicle, it will not perform.
Well, there's got to be a
way.
difference. Like,
Yeah.
are you going to be okay sometimes, or is it going to work sometimes?
That's a good point.
It is.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is, you know, yeah, everything may work as soon as it's installed, but long term, like, what's the warranty that goes behind it, and the backing behind it, and stuff like that. So
yeah, doesn't just because it fits doesn't mean it's legit.
Yeah,
that's the
for a long term
thing. Yeah.
solution. So hey, let's go back to the phones. We've got Delbert with us. Good morning, Delbert. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Good morning, Scotty.
Hey, how you doing, Delbert?
Got it right this time.
Yeah, you did. You're just fine.
All right. Hey, you know, you started mentioning tint, and you might talk about, if you know, because I don't know, the percentages that you can get legally, and what people are doing to get them so dark to be illegal, basically.
Yeah, so
that's a good question.
That is a good question. And then you know, the other side of that question is, I believe that law is completely different between where we're at and where you're at down there. So I don't know. Do you know what do you know what the law is down in Oklahoma?
I do not. That's why I said I do not know.
So,
but, you know, we'll stick with Kansas.
Yeah. So for Kansas, for sure, I do know that it's 35%, and that is the
front two.
Yeah, the front
and
two.
That includes the factory tent, right?
Yeah. So the factory tent, you know, from the rear of the vehicle or from the front two back, you know, typically almost every vehicle at this point has a factory tent on it. And what you don't see is the front two. And just because the main reason for that is it varies state by state, and what the laws are and everything like that. But for Kansas, it's 35%. And then the other thing that I'm seeing a lot more of now than what we used to years ago is people actually tinting the entire front windshield.
Yeah.
So from, you know, from top to bottom. Now that is completely illegal. There is a on every windshield, if you look up about a quarter of the way down, there's like a little indentation noted on the glass, a little mark on there, and you are able to tint to that line. And a lot of factory windshields or a lot of standard or stock windshields will have like a darker banding up there, like a fade, where it fades as a shade band, but you can tint to that line to above the rear view mirror, and then over to the other side, the passenger side of the windshield, to that line. Again, still the 35%. And then I've been told that 35% is to do a test in it would be to take your driver's license and hold it up to the inside of the windshield or the inside of the glass, and that you should be able to read the driver's license. and if you can't read it, then it's too dark a tint.
Oh, that's good.
Um,
I've not heard that.
And also, let's talk about what happens when you're trying to drive at night with that extra
Well, that's what,
dark tint that's illegal too.
You know, I was talking. There was an individual that actually works here that they run darker tint, and then they tint the whole front windshield and everything like that. And it's a discussion that we had specifically, and I agree 100%. Like the sun load and just the wear and tear on the interior from the sun and stuff like that. Like long term, it's going to make a huge difference. But also, we were discussing back and forth. You know, the individual, he lives in town.
Mhm.
He doesn't really go out of town. Doesn't drive out of town a lot. So his commute at night is way different than mine.
Mhm.
You know, being a rural area and just deer everywhere all the time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would be so afraid to take one of those vehicles. Like, you would smoke a deer
Oh,
in
yeah.
no time, just not having the visibility out of it. Again, think it's great in the day and the heat and stuff like that, but at night, like that just would not work. And
Oh, yeah.
you know,
I drove a vehicle with really dark tint one time, and trying to look out the mirrors on the side view mirrors was like looking in a mirror. You
Yeah.
couldn't see anything through the side view mirrors.
Yeah, you know, I know down in Oklahoma, man, they get awfully dark down there.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I've
They do, yeah.
seen some stuff with you know, like limo grade tint on it, and you know, for me, it's definitely a visibility thing at night. You know, just living rural and seeing all the deer and stuff
Yeah.
that's out there. Like I want as much warning on that as I could possibly have.
Yeah.
So I have time to
They also
potentially
have a
avoid a collision.
protective film you can put on the outside. I'm not sure what they call that, but it also has UV protectors and that built into that
Yeah.
coating. So I don't know if you know about those.
Yeah, there
I've
is.
seen
That would be something you could do that would help with that as well. It may not darken it, but it will definitely help with the UV rays, keeping your dash a little bit better longer and things like that.
Probably the most common thing, you know, that I see is people instead of going like 35%, they tint it down to 20. You know, just for a little bit darker. And you know, is somebody gonna balk at you at it? I would say I don't think that they're going to pick that out of a lineup and just say, hey, I'm going to mess with somebody because of
Sure.
this. Now, if you got something else going on or whatever,
That's it. That's the one.
Or they're looking
Yep.
for a reason, then yes,
Then
probably
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But and
For
you know,
example, I was coming home from work when I worked at the casino one time, and I was tired. It was early in the morning. I'd forgotten to put my seatbelt on, which is unusual anyway.
mhm.
And I was going through the toll booth there, and the cop pulled me over just on the other side of the toll booth and gave me a ticket for no seatbelt. Like, how did you see that? Because he looked for that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just well, and I don't know. I'm assuming that was maybe what time of day was it?
Many years ago.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
It was early morning.
Oh, was
Early
it?
morning. There was sun was up a little bit, but it was early morning.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
6:30 in the
it's I look at that as like compared to me being in this industry and things that I can just pick up on
Oh, yeah.
out of habit at looking at versus
Yeah.
somebody that's not, you know, that's his job. He's looking around for people that, you know, all their lights are working, the tags got a good registration on it, you know, that you're buckled, things like
Sure.
that. And for me, like I'm looking a car over, I'm looking at the tires, I'm looking at the oil change sticker, I'm looking
Oh,
at
man.
like driving a car and feeling a pulsation on brakes. You know, the average driver of that vehicle would probably never know because it just something that slowly faded in, and you know, they just kind of got used to it as it happened. So
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, great questions on the tints and comments. I would be curious to know what that law is down in Oklahoma
Yeah.
On window tint, just because
I'll call around this week and see if
Yeah.
I can figure that out. And let
Yeah.
you know.
just because I know what I've seen down there, and
Oh, yeah.
I think they are definitely pretty loose on their tint laws down there for sure. So
They definitely are. I can tell you that. I just don't know what they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find out and pass it along.
Yeah, I'd also be
I'll
curious.
email it to you, Josh.
Okay, perfect. I'd also be curious to know just statewide, like what's the most common law, and I would guess that it would be probably in line with Kansas.
Oh, yeah,
35%.
we're
so,
definitely the average. I think, on most things. So
I wonder if there's a state out there that you can't have.
you can't
Tent
have tent.
on.
Oh, I guarantee it.
You think so?
Yeah,
Sounds
I almost
Yeah,
guarantee
that's
it.
the only thing I'm going to add to my Bronco Sport is the tint on the window that's legal, the above.
Oh,
they call it like a broad tint.
yeah, eyebrow. Mm-hmm.
Brow, there you go, brow tint. There you go.
Yep.
Very good.
Going to add that. That's the other thing I would suggest on the Broncos because they don't have any tint there. But
Well, we would be more than happy to get that taken care of or help you out with that. So, all right.
all right,
All right,
you guys
Delbert.
have a great day. Thanks for taking my call.
You
too.
bet.
Thank
See you,
you, Delbert.
Delbert.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Here we go. 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. If you've got any automotive questions, had a couple of great calls already this morning. We talked about the Mustang South Central Mustang Club car show next week. That's going to be at Sedgwick County Park between 8 to 3 o'clock. And then we talked quite a little bit about window tint as well. So
Again, derailed. Let's go.
that's okay.
That's why I like it.
Not a problem at all. Got trying to get another caller patch through here. We got disconnected.
Oh.
Okay. So, Nathan, sorry about that. Sounds like you got disconnected there. So if you don't mind, let's try back in. Again, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. Apologize about the disconnect on that. But Nathan, if you give us a shout back again, we'll get you patched through, okay? And get your question taken care of. So.
Last time I was here, Phil straight up accidentally
Oh,
hung up
he
on
just
it. Yeah.
flat-
Oh, dude, it was so funny. Like I could see him with the phone, and he like answered it and immediately pushed hang up.
Nathan, I did not hang up on you.
I see the
Yeah.
phone. He did not do that.
Yeah, that did not happen. So
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. So talked about go ahead.
I was gonna say I did have one of those situations because you brought up a good point. It was really cool. I was on the service drive and I had a customer that brought in a vehicle, and it's so funny when you've been in this industry for the longest time, you do see things and immediately recognize them. I recognized a smaller tire that it was not much smaller on a vehicle, one tire. Somebody and I'll tell that story
a
in a
different
second.
tire on there.
I'll
Yeah.
tell that story.
Okay, hey, let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Nathan. Nathan, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Good morning, and
Good
thank
morning.
you for the show.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, sorry about
Two
that
questions.
getting disconnected there. So
Okay. Two questions.
Okay.
2016 Escape rolled over 200,000 miles this week.
Nice.
Does it have a steering column or is it an electronic steer? And we're starting to hear a noise as we turn the steering wheel periodically.
what you said it was a 2016?
16
Yeah, so 2016 is going to have electronic steering on it. And so what's the noise? Is it like a clunking noise or is it a squeal? Is it what's your noise that you're hearing?
Closer to a clunking noise. It's not a squeal.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
All
So that is an electronic steering
Gear.
and electronic steering gear. What I would wonder is it something in the column or is it something actually in the gear? There's a couple things that come to my mind right off the top of my head. If it's more of like a clicking noise, I've seen a lot of clock springs, or they're called SIR coils, supplemental restraint system coils. But basically, that's the winding in the wires that allow the connectivity still to like the airbag and the horn and stuff like that as you're turning the wheel from one way to the other,
Right.
and they just kind of wear out and become an issue. So I would wonder if you don't have something going on there. Again,
Yeah.
200,000 miles. There's a couple of different probabilities that it could be there, but to answer that first question, I think we'd need to hear the noise. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw a diagnostic onto your package to take a look at that steering noise and see just exactly what's going on with it for sure. So the 200,000 miles, though, I will say has got to be a testament to decent
I was
maintenance.
gonna say, good
or,
job.
Yeah, or you wouldn't have got there.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. So you guys obviously maintain that thing pretty good. So.
And you do most of the oil changes and quick service on it. So
Okay.
yes, it's
Yeah.
also a testament to you guys.
Very good.
What was your next one? What was the next question you had?
Well, we have begun looking for an upgrade,
Uh-huh.
and we noticed that the Escapes, it seems to make a world of difference what size backup screen we are in the different vehicles. How come the little, I'll call it a 2x3 or 3x4 screen on some versus our 2016's got a great big screen, and we have when we back up, it beeps as we get closer to an object, and some of the other models, Escapes newer, we've driven, they don't beep at all when you back up. You just have the backup screen. What's the difference?
So there's an additional package in that, but it's basically how the vehicle is equipped. So
yeah, it's trim levels.
In fact, the government is now mandated that every new vehicle has to have a backup camera on it. So the backup camera is as you approach newer vehicles and as you go to a brand new vehicle is going to be a standard option across every vehicle. But then there's additional packages on that, which is a park aid system or sensors.
Yep.
That park aid system or sensors is what gives you the additional the additional features. It gives you the beeps, it gives you the lines, it gives you the red, blue, or red, green, yellow area and stuff like that. And so basically it's how the vehicle is equipped is what is going to make the difference on what that's like.
Yeah, and the trim levels make a difference because if it's the base model, they will always have the backup camera, but they won't have the backup sensors, and it varies for trim level for what you go to. But I've seen very decent trim level Escapes or trim level vehicles that just don't have backup sensors, and they have the backup camera and everything like that. But yeah, it just, some of them come with them and some of them don't. It depends on the trim that you get.
Can that sensor be added after the fact?
Oh yeah, you definitely can add them. We've definitely done it before.
So if you
closer to the titanium, the more features come basic.
Yeah. The titanium, I believe it'll have not only backup cameras and sensors and stuff like that. It'll have cross traffic. It'll have
the blind
spot, adaptive cruise. It'll have all kinds of that stuff. With the more you get into that stuff.
Okay.
So
we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. If you're looking for a replacement vehicle, obviously we've got quite a bit to choose from. The new inventory is it's as good as it's been in a long time on that. Used, we're pretty thin on used stuff right at the moment, but what we do have is a very good quality selection of used. So I'm not sure exactly which market you're in, but then if you find something out there that you're interested in or looking at, and you want to know what what your options are as far as adding the additional feature, just let us know and we can help you with that as well. What I will say is, again, kind of part of the conversation that we had earlier in the show is definitely go with factory.
Yeah.
There's Ford factory add-ons or accessories. You get into aftermarket stuff, and again, there's stuff out there that probably works good, and then there's stuff that is not going to work so good.
Yeah.
But longevity of the vehicle, that Ford factory stuff is going to be the best way to go. So
100%.
Okay.
We'll get.
Thank you very much.
We'll get that added onto your package. Couple of great questions there, Nathan.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we'll take a look at that steering and see what's going on with that. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You
All
have,
right. Thank
have
you.
a great rest
Have
of
a
your
great
day.
weekend.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna get another call coming through here, so I got a couple more calls on the line here, so I'll get them patched through. But yeah, I had a couple of really great calls this morning, so let's keep them going. 316-462-3673. Let's go back to the phones and let's talk to Greg. Good morning, Greg. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good,
great.
Greg.
Doing great.
Good. So I called for a couple of reasons. Let me start with an easy one, and then I'll leave you with a question that you guys can answer.
Okay.
Whenever. But my first thing is when it comes to doing brakes on a car. I drove a friend of mine's car, and I noticed that it was vibrating whenever I braked. And I said, she had told me that she'd just have the brakes done on it. And she did. I looked at the receipt, and sure enough, all they'd done was resurface the rotors. I thought, I don't know. That seems like a shortcut to me. Instead of, the car has about 100,000 miles on it. They replaced the pads, but only resurfaced. And I'm like, I don't know. Does that seem like a good practice? Or if you're replacing and there was already a vibration before that, why are we just trying to resurface warpage out?
So
Well, yeah.
that is a great point. So here's a couple things that I would say to that is one, the purpose in my mind for resurfacing is the equipment that you use to resurface that.
That's exactly what I was
that
going to
rotor.
say.
Okay, so you can take a brand new rotor out of a box and put it on a hub of a car, but if there's variances or offset on that hub or the mating surface between the hub and the rotor, over time, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's going to cause a pulsation, long term down the road. And so if you're resurfacing that and you're using an on-car lathe, then you're actually resurfacing that rotor on the car. That's going to be the absolute best thing for the life of it, to mate those together and then resurface it. Now, there's other ways to resurface a rotor too. And so I don't know who the establishment was, what equipment they used, anything like that. But if they took that rotor off and they just resurfaced it on a brake lathe or a bench lathe, and then put it back on the car, I don't think you got the value over the service.
But as far as resurfacing, which I think was initially his question, is it common practice? Absolutely.
So resurfacing is common practice, but I also understand where you're coming from in the sense that, there is when something's warped, it's typically because it's gotten hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my mind, every time you resurface something, you're taking more material off of it. So then it's going to get hotter quicker.
Yeah.
So then it's going to warp quicker. And so, yes, I'm with you on just the replacement of a rotor. But there is specifications from a manufacturer as far as how thin that they can go, before they have to be discarded or replaced. But for purpose of making sure that it's, true, and that is to resurface it on the hub of the vehicle, is the absolute best thing.
Right.
Then the other thing that I would say, you said that it had around 100,000 miles. To me, that makes a difference in what the vehicle is. I mean, we see stuff come in all the time that has, 120,000 miles on it, and it still has 7 or 8 millimeter of brake lining on it.
Yeah.
And then there's other vehicles out there that, they just are notorious for wearing brakes faster. Yeah. And, at 40,000 miles,
yep,
it needs pads, it needs rotors, stuff like that. And
absolutely.
So it just would depend on what it is that you were working on.
Yeah.
But that is my reasoning for resurfacing, and why it's better than just replacing the rotor.
Not to mention, a lot of times whenever you go to replace a rotor, it is not just a top hat rotor. It comes with a bearing that is also means that the price is going to be exponentially
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
just doing the resurface. So
There-
there's a lot of reasons.
There are a lot of very expensive rotors out there.
Sure are.
As well. And so, it just depends on the application and what you're talking about as to what's best for the customer long term. So, and then I hope that answered the question on that. And then I don't know, you said you had another question?
Well, yeah. So forever ago, a quarter century ago, I used to work at Walmart where we changed oil, and I there's a big difference in what you guys do and what we did at Walmart 25 years ago. But my question was really about what's the worst vehicle as far as servicing? Because I think some people, and I bring my vehicles to you guys, but there are still people that think that you can do it cheaper at home. And I'm like, I don't know. I can remember changing oil on cars at Walmart where we had to take some metal panel off the bottom, some kind of splash shield, and then oil runs all down the side of the engine. I mean, so I wanted to kick it to you guys because you guys are really in the industry. What's the worst one that you did? I mean, engineers didn't care about what service was going to be.
So I think I'll answer that one. And was technician for many years, and even on this side of the business, probably for me, the worst thing, just basic maintenance on, the worst thing that I've ever changed oil on was an Aston Martin. And like you had to remove the motor mount of this vehicle in order to get to the engine oil filter. Now, granted, if you took it to an Aston Martin dealer or whatever, I mean, what they would charge to just service it, I'm sure would be astronomical.
Yeah.
But from me, it was a mindset of like, okay, an engineer, they designed this thing. The primary function of this vehicle was not maintenance, right?
Right.
It was to perform, or be a performance thing. But at some point, you have to realize, like, okay, this is something that you're going to do how many ever times in the life of this vehicle. Like, why was this not thought of? Why was this not part of the location of this component? And it was not there. I mean, it was probably a 2.5, 3 hour oil change just to be able to do it. And to me, it didn't make any sense at all. And their primary focus was only performance, at that time.
And then I guess the other kind of side of your question is people trying, servicing their vehicles themselves. Hey, some people do it themselves because they enjoy it. And I understand that. That's totally fine. But as far as economically, whenever you go to a place that's especially charging what we charge to do an oil change, there is no way that you are, it's just so inexpensive.
Well, you're not going to go buy the oil, the filter, dispose of the oil properly, and then if you calculate any money at all for your time invested in what you do, you may save $10. You may save $10, if that. But then my other side of that is like, you didn't check the tire pressures, you didn't check the brake linings, you didn't check the tires, you didn't look. Not to
mention that vehicle is probably not getting off the ground. Like that's the other thing. There's a lot of things that are just so invaluable as far as taking it to the quick lane and having them do the inspections on the car. I bet anything that if you go out, buy your own oil, or get the oil filter and do a service, you're not saving much. It's because we buy in so much bulk, and the more you buy, the less the cost goes, which is why we can charge for an oil change what we can charge for it. It makes sense. But as far as the quality of service, it is so different. So yeah.
Well, hey, great questions. I hope I answered them for you. And what, you have something else?
No, that's it. I'm with it. I think even though I did it at Walmart years ago, and there were people who were like, "Oh, I would never pay for this," but I worked with. I'm fine. Honestly, it's easy enough to take it to you guys, and you guys do look at more than just.
Sure.
Oh, I'm draining. It's not drain and spin a filter on.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle. Sorry, I'm going to circle back to my second part. Did you ever change the oil on like those Oldsmobile quad 4 engines where the filter was in the oil pan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep. I
Seen
did.
that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Engineers are awesome.
Well, and again, they're it's two different mindsets.
I
right?
know.
Like it's hey, what's going to make this last and be durable, and that
Yeah.
mindset, and then it's like a mindset of hey, I've got to what's ease of operation, what's the
Yeah.
what makes this efficient.
There's two kinds of people that go to buy cars. The person that goes, I want all the bells and whistles, and then there's the person that goes, how much does this cost when it breaks? That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So,
Okay.
well, very
Sorry,
good.
one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on,
Yeah.
one more thing. I was scrolling Facebook this week, and I saw an advertisement for an oil. If I remember right, it's a Valvoline, and they're advertising it as a 25,000-mile oil.
No.
I thought, this is what Phil and Josh talk about.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
God.
I'll have to see if I can find that. I'll have to see if I can find that. But that's it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
And what
25,000 miles. You're talking that's 2 years for most people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what blows me away is that there's people out there that are going to believe that.
100%.
And then it's just I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy that you can advertise that or put something like that out there to a consumer that in the long run is going to cost them so much more money.
So much money.
Yeah. I don't know. I just it's disturbing for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, great comments, great questions. Greatly appreciate the call and listening. So, all right.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
I appreciate you hanging out with us and enjoyed having you for the show. I want to thank all the loyal listeners, callers, everybody on the chat, everything like that. Had a very great show today. Again, thank you guys, and we will catch you next Saturday.